sometimes I'm a little bit too bashful to ask for help and support about doing things I do it. People see me do it, they chime in on it, they get it done. But I appreciate you all definitely showing strong notice. One lady was just telling me, she told me yes, she was coming, and she said I was talking so fast because I don't remember her telling me that, but guess what, she brought 2 other people with her. So obviously she told me she was coming, right? We're truly honored that you're here today. And I want to share with you something that was very, very joy to my heart this morning. This morning, many elected officials and many persons across Richmond County in different capacity had an opportunity to interact with students this morning called a program called Leadership Augusta that was started pretty much as directed at this point by Tax Commissioner Stephen Kendrick. And what brought joy to my heart, and I'm sure it brought joy to all of our hearts as we thought about it, because with those young persons, I think they're juniors in high school, right? What grade are those kids? Most they're juniors. In all the high schools, I met one that was from South Carolina as well. But my point is this: what they do, they introduce themselves to us, sort of what their aspirations in life, and then they ask us about ourselves. And what I heard many of my colleagues saying this morning to them, myself included, without us having any dialogue around these issues. But now we feel very, very strongly that many of those young persons, as they leave Augusta and go to colleges and institutions and universities across this country, now there's something in Augusta, Richmond County, they can come back home based on that cyber and other things that's happening across the city now, that give them an opportunity to come home where they can live, work, and play if they choose to. I also tell them at the same time, now if you need to go see the world first, please do that. But no, for the most part, Augusta, Richmond County now has something to offer you, which 2 years ago, why this is important to me and probably important to many of my colleagues, is because a couple of years ago, when they asked us, well, why'd you become a commissioner? I said, well, I want to get in a position to work, and for you can come back here, you can live, work, and play. I want to work toward that. Today, we could say emphatically, that has been done. That has been done. And so, and it's just the beginning of it. It's just the beginning of it. Because we're on a list right now, we're talking about from being probably one of the 7 lists that possibly could be the cyber city in this nation. So there's nothing small about that. We've done our part. We thank God for Governor Deal and what he has done, and for the leaders in this community who able to help them bring $100 million a year. And we as a governing body have to put in for $16 million to do our part. That means for every $1 we put in, the state put $5 in. That's the kind of return you want on your dollar. That's the kind of return that you want. And so we're excited about those kinds of things. And so the next thing I want to just mention, because I want to keep it moving, I don't want to hold you long, I just want to mention to you, many of you all have brought to my attention as well, several months ago, or the last 2 years, probably a year and a half first getting off, I said, I'm through. The first time I decided to quit, how many of you all know I had a newspaper several years ago? Can I see your hands? How many of y'all know I don't have a newspaper now? Simply because at that point in the newspaper, I was about to quit the commission at that point. And my wife would not allow me. This is my wife over here to the right, Hadia, sitting down by the, I would say the water cooler. And she was emphatic for not allowing me to quit. I said, I need to do something. I need to give her the paper. Just do it. She said, give her the paper then. And she made me stay. Because, you know, as controversial as I can be sometimes, I really don't like this. And not that it was a mess, it just be from growing things for me, because I'm kind of spoiled. I'm used to having them away. You know? And so with that, it just wasn't happening. I had to try to find my way around. And so I went through those cycles several times about wanting to leave. And so I didn't foresee myself running for office again. Even though my colleague in the back and a couple other persons sat me down and talked to me and shared with me why it was important that I stay. I was emphatic about leaving. And then on December 22nd is when God spoke to me directly. And I know that sounds cliche-ish, but I can tell you what happened to bring that to the forefront. About 2 weeks out, so let's go back to the 14th of December, there were some challenges around the senior dance that they have every year, the senior Christmas party. It doesn't cost the seniors anything. And the seniors come out, they have a great time, they enjoy themselves, they have entertainment, they're fed well, and they just let their hair down, if you will. And of course, I'm in that crowd now. But anyway, with that being said, about the 21st, all of that culminated. It was giving the person who's over a very hard time. They had stripped their budget. They didn't strip their budget prior they stripped their budget when they was getting ready to organize. Money was being donated to them that could help pay for food. They told them you can't use that money to next year. Now, how do you tell people to use how do you donated money? And so at that point in time, I was asked by one of my former colleagues, Commissioner Bill Lockett, could I help and assist them with that? And we got that done. We got it to a good place. And the real importance of that, it was a growing event. Because our first couple of years being on the commission, this event was held at Julius Smith Casino. Last year was at Diamond Lakes. And this year they wanted to have it last year at the arena. December 21st, they had it at the Civic Center. They got a great price on it, thanks to Cedric Johnson, the chairman of that. He worked, they got him a great price. And with that happening, it was a great event. It was a great event. And that next morning, I got in my vehicle. I was headed off my property. And that's when the Spirit just spoke to me directly and said, you can't leave. You can't leave. And I just stopped, put my car, and didn't cut it off, put it in park, and we just listened. They said, if they want the seat, let them take it. Don't give it to them. Don't give it to them. Don't walk away from it. You know. And after that, I was at peace with it. I pulled it off the property, put it in the drive and pulled off the property. And I was at peace at that point. Now, just remember now, it didn't promise me a win. It promised I need to stay and fight. But let me tell you what a win looked like for me, because I will win. And that don't mean necessarily win the seat. I plan to win the seat. But winning for me is saying what needs to be said. And when the May the 22nd at 7 o'clock, Ben Hasan Spirit will be empty. All of me will be out there and saying what I think needs to be done and why it's important for the city in the direction that we're going, that we keep going that way. It is very, very important. And last but not least, what I want to say to you is this. As you see the city moving forward, and I say this nation as well, there's a couple of things that we really need to be important about, that we need to be concerned about. And number one, please let's not get caught. All of us want to see a better quality of life. All of us want to see we get better services, and we're working toward that. I mean, my colleague, Commissioner Size, I mean, he's a bulldog about knowing about infrastructure in this community. Commissioner Dennis Williams give us his assistance around those issues of votes, and we know with all intents and purposes, we can go to the table with a minimum of 3 votes. We need 3 more. But it's good to have, like I said, a bird in the hand. It's better than one in the bush that you may not get. But we know we got 3 votes going on in the issue. And so as we look at some of those issues to change the quality of life in this community, we're moving in the right direction. We're going to be able to take advantage of the cyber and things of that nature, what's going to bring other amenities and other opportunities in this community. But please, the most important thing for us to do moving forward is to be civil. Because what we see on a national level and in different places, it doesn't represent the human spirit for me. And that does not say to me that I would do anything. I would never call our president 45. I would never call him Donald Trump. He's the president of the United States. Regardless whether we like the way he conducts himself or not, doesn't matter. Because if you disrespect the man, you eventually end up disrespecting the office. And when that happens, we have nowhere to go. We would no longer be leaders in the free world. And so my point is this. As many people is talking about what their 401ks and stuff look like, don't let that be the litmus test of what our communities and families and what our future is supposed to be like. We're supposed to be civil, we're supposed to be decent, we're supposed to be honorable, we're supposed to be trustworthy. All of those are the attributes that you want to see. And if you have those attributes in place, the rest will come. Because if you put those things in front of your pursuit of wealth and money, then you will compromise yourself time and time again trying to get those things. So let's build ourselves around human decency. And as we do that, we can get somewhere. And as some people say, and I like to say in particular, you can build a building, but a building don't build people. But if you build people, people will build a building. That's important. You can build a building, but a building don't build people. But if you build people, people will build a building. And we'll build our families. And so we're very thankful that you are here tonight. We hope and we pray that we have your support. It is obvious we have it. You're here. We're dedicated to what's best for this community. And positions that you may see we take sometime that you're not pleased with, trust me, for the most part, we've done our due diligence. And many times you listen to the media, you don't have all that we have access to. And when you hear people making conversation and statements about what we are doing as commissioners, they have no idea about this body of work. They have no idea. We made a decision that we're in the hole financially to do this job, but we enjoy what we do. We're turning the corner. So don't worry about what you can't control, worry about what we can control. And what you can control, May the 22nd, you can control what your elected leadership looks like. You have control of that. When you look at these nations across the world, you see people standing out in all kinds of inclement weather, 100 degrees to almost out in the rainstorms, wishing and taking advantage of an opportunity to vote. And this is a precious commodity we have, and we take it for granted. We can't afford to do that. And so in my closing comments to you all, to you and your families, we're very thankful that you're here this evening. We look forward to serving you well. We look forward to serving along with Commissioner Sire. Continuously, we look forward to serving with Commissioner Dennis. And I must also say our mayor's up for re-election as well, and with the mayor as well. And I encourage you all now on that note, Tuesday night at 6 o'clock on Augusta Tech property at the Patrick building, John Patrick's? What is? What building is that? It's the Patrick building, right?
It's right at 2 and 3 on the right.
Right, but at Tuesday night, 6 o'clock, the mayor, sir?
They have signs out.
Signs out. The mayor's going to be giving a State of the City address. And what I believe, now I haven't seen his notes, so don't hold me to this, just be prayerful that this happens. And that is that he's giving a state of affairs of what we've accomplished as a group, as a collective, and being in spite of ourselves. Now, Commissioner Sire started that conversation the second Saturday of this month. Every second Saturday at the Jamestown Community Center, he has a breakfast. He has done that religiously ever since he's been in office. He has not missed a single one. So he started that conversation, and the mayor is going to wrap it up Tuesday. So please, Tuesday at 6 o'clock at Augusta Tech, please come out and hear the State of the City address. Thank you for your time, and as they say, may God bless America, may God bless our families as well. Thank you.